Okay, if you're a Kiss fan, we have something really fun to talk about today. Now, Gary, last time I was in Denver, I went to this little place down on. You ever been to Denver?
Yeah.
Okay, Broadway. Broadway's like the main north and south street coming out of the city. There's this little place called 5280s, and my brother-in-law said, you got to go check this place out. And you go in there and it's basically all retro stuff, all retro stuff, the original
stuff that we collected.
Yeah.
Now somebody's got.
Yeah, and it's like you walk in there and it looks like a hoarder's place because there's just so much. It's all organized and it's all and it's super fun. Because I was amazed how many people were in there.
Yeah,
there's so many people.
Those places are amazing. It is like a treasure hunt. That's where you're going to find a gem. And you came across something pretty cool.
So while I was in there, I was like, oh my gosh, they have Kiss trading cards and unopened. So I think these are new, actually. But I bought some and I thought.
The originals from back in the 70s.
We got those. But this was, so I thought I have to buy them just so we can take a look and see what's in there.
Unopened, so we've never seen those.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what's in here.
Okay.
So we're going to bust this open.
So Peter Criss drum roll.
Exactly. And see what we have in here. Do you remember doing this, by the way? Because you bought Kiss cards. Yeah. They always smelled like gum.
Yeah. Did they come with gum?
Ooh, okay, here we go.
Check them out.
Okay.
So there is a
seven. So this is, there's seven cards in here. Okay, so that's obviously Paul Stanley shot.
And
that's old school. Like this is back in a live time period right there.
Well, definitely 70s time period. Right?
Yeah, because but that costume I think was in the was in the 74, 75 range, had to be. This one was, there's another Paul. This one was right around the rock and roll overtime. I can't remember which year. Because they always had the different costumes for the different years.
I'm a little rusty on my Kiss costume era, but
we're gonna have to do that one of these days because you remember in Alive 2, they had that thing that opened up and you would see the different. Basically showed you what the different looks were for each of the eras. Each guy. Yeah. Okay, so here's one with Gene. That was when he got more into the armor part of
which
his.
Was always pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've always thought the bat wings. Whoa.
Now this one's kind of strange. So okay. This is interesting because you know what that picture is?
That's the redo.
That is the redo of Creatures of the Night with Bruce.
Didn't even play on it.
Who wasn't even on the album.
By a long shot.
The original cover had Ace on the cover, even though he didn't play on it.
Not very much.
Vinnie Vincent did. Then when they re-release it without the makeup, neither case, the guy that actually played guitar is in the picture.
That is a weird, again, super crazy Kiss anomaly. Like, why did they even do it, man? Like, I don't even get it. If anybody knows, chime in.
It's something to
but this is
get
cool.
more money.
That is a weird
to get
card.
more money from me. That's why, because I bought it.
Yeah.
I had why did I buy it? I don't know. I don't know why. Okay, this is another. This is this is 70. This is that 75 range when Alive came out. Pretty sure, right in that 75, 76 range.
I like Ace. This is one of the costumes I really liked Ace in. And he's got the Tobacco Sunburst Les Paul, which is really, he played more early on, because then he always tended to gravitate towards more like the Cherry Sunburst.
Well,
right?
because he had that Les Paul with the third pickup that would smoke.
Smoking pickup.
Yeah, which this one did not. This one didn't have the third pickup. Although maybe this one, I don't remember if this one smoked or not. Somebody could tell us the answer to that question. So, but this is an older one. This is when he had the feathers on the sleeves.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. Okay. And then here's an upside down Paul. Looks like we're almost done with the cards. Paul playing. That's a pretty old one too.
Yeah.
And then let's scoot these over so we can see, because there's stuff on the back of these cards, it looks like, too. So these are all old. This looks like these could have been taken seconds apart from each other, these two pictures right here.
Similar era, right? Yeah. I mean, I would say these two also, but though this one, Paul's got the choker.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. Yeah, this was, I think this one was later.
He's got no shirt on, just kind of like those pants thing with the big fat belt.
Yeah. This
just
is so
really cool.
And they had one no makeup.
Why that
picture
again,
and all of this. This is the one where he's playing his flying V too.
Yeah, that's pretty early.
Yeah, this was. Boy, I shouldn't say anything. We're gonna have to do a video on that where we get into the different costume areas. Yeah, but let's just take a look at the back of these.
People watching, right? They know.
Yeah, that's true. I need to know now. Okay, so now we have
what we got on the back.
So here's Gene Simmons. This is card number 37. In April of 1976, Kiss set out on an 8-cities tour of Canada. It was their first time as headliners in the Great White North. Soon after, the band made their headline debut in Europe, playing several countries, including England and Germany. While the European trek proved successful, profits were low in comparison to the U.S. However, the band regarded the attention more important than the money. April 1976. So that would have been Destroyer time period.
Right.
So interesting stuff. Okay, here's on the back of this one. Oh, it has the track list.
Yeah.
You know who helped write the song War Machine?
Oh, we've talked about this. Canadian guy.
Yeah. Now, God, I can't believe I shouldn't have even said it. Brian Adams and his songwriting partner, which I can't think of his name. I feel stupid. I used to know
Michael Jackson? No, that was the producer.
I'll think of it in a minute. Anyway, yeah. That's kind of funny to think about that, though. So then on the back of this one, here's some trivia. See if you know this.
Hit me.
Kiss Destroyer costumes were also worn by the band on which other tour? Rock and Roll Over, Psycho Circus, the Farewell Tour, all the above.
I'm going to go... I think the Psycho Circus.
That answer surprises me.
I'm going Psycho Circus.
The answer is all the above.
Really?
Believe it or not, it's what it says.
I don't remember them having costume changes.
I don't know. That's really interesting. So they were doing that on the Farewell Tour at Psycho Circus, and Rock and Roll Over makes sense. But
yeah.
Okay, here we go. Another one. While Kiss was busy trying to maintain the illusion of a supergroup, their lives on the road were riddled with problems. Faulty pyrotechnics and poorly constructed stage created safety hazards, while equipment failure led to a lot of improvising. The band never knew what they'd be faced with when they stepped on the stage each night.
Okay. True, right? I mean, you're playing with fire, right? What's the saying? Playing with fire, you're going to get burned?
One of the most disappointing things to me, Gary, was when they put out the DVD sets with the concerts.
Right.
And they had the director's commentary. That's what I wanted to hear him talking about. They never. Did you get those? Did you get those DVDs?
In the 80s, they came out with all bunch of different documentaries and stuff, and there's a couple good ones.
But do you remember those DVDs where because it was the stuff that was like 74 to 78, whatever, and they had all the concerts, and then they had the commentary from Gene and Paul. And I remember putting it in, like, I'm so excited. I want to hear them talk about the concerts, and then basically what happened, I'm Gene and Paul, whatever, they introduced themselves, and then they started talking, and then they talked for about 30 seconds, and then 10 minutes of silence. And then they might say something later. I'm like, dude, this is it like took all the fun out of it for me, because I wanted to hear that stuff.
Yeah, hey, I remember the day that Ace stepped on and got shot. And, this is one of the things that happened.
Nothing like that, unless I missed it, because the stuff I watched.
Didn't Gene get burned from one of the torch things going wrong? Like, we want to
just talk about that
things.
Stuff.
Drum riser getting stuck.
Yeah,
I mean the Spinal Tap moments. Yeah.
Okay, here's a couple more. Okay. Alive. Touring continued after the release of Alive. One stop was in Cadillac, Michigan, where the band performed a 2-hour set and helped to rally the local high school football team. Everybody knows that story. During what was dubbed as Kiss Day. Afterwards, the band was to depart by helicopter, but the trip had already proved too costly. Instead, the band was flown over the football field behind a hill less than a mile away, then taken by car to the airport.
Budget cuts.
I didn't know that.
Oh.
I didn't know that part.
Well, maybe not budget cuts. They probably just spent,
That's actually a really interesting story. Okay, a couple more.
Are we out of sight? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. No one can see.
No one
pop out.
Can see us.
Okay, here's with Alive rising on the charts, Kiss was encouraged by their label to appear larger than life in the public eye to perpetuate the band's growing mystique. Photos of the band in front of a private jet were sent to the tabloids to give the image that they were a supergroup, even though Gene, Paul, Ace, and Peter were still traveling on commercial flights.
70s marketing.
Yeah. And they were all about that.
Nobody had a cell phone camera to be like,
right.
Let's check.
But
what are they doing?
That was one of their things, because when they were playing like with the dolls in the early days, they would rent a limo. And they'd show up to the show
one of their
trying to look as big as possible, even though they were...
Act like you're playing Madison Square Garden from day one.
Exactly. Okay, last one. A live preview card. Ooh. Kiss 1977 to 78 Love Gun Tour represents arguably the most successful period in the band's history. In addition to a successful studio album produced with Eddie Kramer, which was our last show, or one of our last shows, the height of the band's merchandising was in effect. Gene, Paul, Peter, and Ace also appeared in their first film, Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. Woo! Although the Kiss machine seemed unstoppable, self-destructive forces within the band would soon erupt.
Yep. No Oscars won.
For Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park.
And the implosion began.
Anyway, I thought this would be kind of fun to just take a look at these things,
really
just
cool.
because of, like so many other people, I collected the Kiss cards. At lunch at school, we'd trade them, and it was so much fun. So anyway, that was my little experience at 5280's. Totally awesome shop.
Yeah, shout out to those guys for having something cool like
for having something really cool. And if you've never been there, to that place in Denver, you should go check it out, especially if you're around our age, because you walk in there and you're like, oh my gosh, I remember that and that and that and that. It is you can spend hours in there just looking at all the cool stuff in this place and buy some Kiss cards. So, hey, we'd love to get your feedback. Did you collect Kiss cards when you were a kid? What was your favorite one? Do you remember? Did you trade them in school too? Love to hear your stories about Kiss cards, because that was such, for Kiss fans, kids like us, that was like, it was a big deal.
Yeah. Well, because back then you traded cards like baseball cards, and that was kind of a big thing. Pre-internet, would you play? Stick and a ball, go outside. You weren't playing video games. I mean, Atari and Pong were still not even out, really. Maybe.
Yeah, that's right. It was that was one of the fun parts of being a Kiss fan way back when. So anyway,
but I think it was kind of something that we would. Hey, you got this one, because all the packs were like different.
Yep.
But you'd get doubles and triples of some of the ones that you had too much of, that you'd try to trade and get your whole complete set. So you can do. What was it on the back of them? Some of them had the puzzles,
and some of them had fun little information like those.
Yeah, it was really cool. We'll get to those one day. That was
fun. Sure. All right.
Thanks for sharing, man.
Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Please follow the channel, like the video, share your comments and thoughts, and as always, have yourself a fantastic day.